in a perfect world, for me, it would be like Tuscany in Italy. Yeah, like that is like in a perfect. That's why I said that. That's why I
nightmare. The bride honestly had said she would do her own bouquet. So we wake up the morning of, and she calls me and she's like, "Where's my bouquet?" And I'm just like, but you see, that's the thing about being a planner. Yeah. It's because I was very new in the game. You need to have everything in check. Even if she tells you that she's going to do it, you need to know for a fact she's going to do it or have a backup. We had, lucky for us, we had a ceremony and in a tent, and then at the reception. And because it had rained so much, the ground outside was then very soggy. So we just kind of quickly moved. When people walked into the reception, quickly removed everything that was in the ceremony area and just turned that into like the dining area, the food area. Like you have to be very dynamic. I came from a bunch of events. I felt so burnt out. I felt like, is it even worth it? It's possible. It's actually possible to create a whole other world in a tent. 10, 15 years ago, that wasn't a very big possibility. Now, it's not just decor that makes a space look good. Even the production, the amount of production and lighting and, that goes into making this a whole world. I think it's also possibilities.
Welcome back to Originaires. This week we are speaking with someone who is a titan in the space of event planning. This is the CEO of Bijoux Events, Chantal Basuuta.
Hi.
Thank you for making the time. Thank you for coming through.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Titan. Wow. Okay.
No, I mean, when it comes to planning these weddings, I mean, weddings and events in general, it's no small feat. And we see the work that you're doing, and it's just amazing.
Thank you for that. It is actually, it's quite something, but I don't know, I enjoy it for some reason. My friends keep asking me why I choose safari, but I enjoy it. Yeah.
Could we kind of get into what the role of a wedding planner is?
Okay, so a wedding planner just helps you from conception, from the point of conception. It helps the couple, helps the family from the point of conception of the idea of getting married, down to the details, sourcing service providers, budget formation, activity schedule, just every little detail from when you realize you're getting married, maybe when you propose to when you start to plan your wedding, down to the end of your wedding, till after party and the set down of your wedding. That's in a nutshell what a wedding planner does. They walk alongside you in that process and take charge of everything. Putting you at ease. All you do is really just dream.
I've seen
and pay.
The true. It's quite we're gonna get into that. But I've seen, people who are maybe trying to pinch pennies on every end and suggest that maybe a planner might be just doing too much, or that the people who go the extra mile to get a wedding planner, it's like, you don't need that. You can just call the decor yourself. You can call so-and-so yourself. So what would be the difference of the experience?
A wedding planner is necessary because you have one central person who is experienced in the field, has worked with all these service providers, has done this multiple times to then guide you through that process. The thing about doing it yourself is you get overwhelmed. It's an overwhelming experience because there's a lot of work to do, but then it's also a very emotional space and a very emotional time. There's not just two people coming together, but two families coming together. And so a wedding planner just helps you focus on that and do the work for you. I do appreciate though, when people say that they can't maybe say they don't want to pay for a wedding planner because of financial constraints here and there. I get that, but I think it's very necessary to have a wedding planner.
And I like that you talked about the service providers, because I find like there are so many horror stories of service provider X, this one Y. I feel like as a planner, you kind of have already gone through all those things and you figured out, I guess, who to work with, who maybe to be iffy about. How have you navigated that?
I would say I've worked with a vast number of service providers. Maybe what I'll say about that is not who to work with and who not to work with, but sometimes when a client comes to you and they express to you what they feel and what they want and their theme and what, you're able to then place them with the different service providers, because service providers also have like a style, kind of like how, you know, fashion people have a style and a style that they do. So when someone comes to you with their idea of what they want, you're able to kind of place them or recommend, because what we do is recommend. No one forces any service provider on anyone. Recommend the service providers you then think would fit within their spec or within their what they want.
Okay. I mean, the space right now is so it's like very, very whimsical. Like the current wedding right now is like, it's like they build a world within, this space, and they, introduce everything into it. What's the scope like, sometimes for these weddings?
People dream, and the beauty about the service providers we have in the industry, especially like the decorators and the tailor, all these people, they're so creative that they fit into someone's idea and just grow it and grow it and grow it. Honestly, the sky is the limit. I've seen all sorts of things being done, all sorts of things being brought to life, and it's just beautiful to watch different people plug in to give someone, the beautiful day, the beautiful experience, all the way from like the look and feel of the event to the service, to what they're wearing, to the music, it all fits together into one.
Right.
So I would say that the whimsical thing, it's a theme right now, but it all comes from the client's mind. And then it's a service provider that just come together to bring it to life. But
we have peeped some of these budgets. They get crazy. Why is decor so crazy? So pricey?
I would say decor is pricey because it's the dream. It's honestly the dream. If your palette is, people dream big things, and that then translates into, it's linear to what you have to pay for it. Do you know what I mean? And so what happens is those big deco budgets come from the dream of the client. But I will say that in that regard, when a client dreams, they see pictures, Pinterest, that's for Pinterest. People have so many Pinterest boards and what they've thought about this thing from when they were kids, and then they present that to then a decorator. So what happens is the decorator will then give you a quotation based off of that dream. And I like to call that the dream quotation. It doesn't necessarily mean that decorator cannot then fit into a normal price. You know what I mean? Right. That's the dream quote. And then we then organize a meeting, a sit down. They're not robots, you know what I mean? They also know what's going on. They know the financial struggles of people. We then sit down and now refine the Pinterest mood board to then fit into the budget that we are. So it's like, okay, in this picture, what do you like? And then, or maybe this is the figure we're willing to work with. And the decorators will then come and fit into the figure. So don't let those initial quotations scare you away. If you feel that that's your decorator, you feel like you like what they give you, and it may not just be 1, 2, 3 of them, don't fear to engage them more. Because they can then come down and fit into what you want. But your dream and your palette have to match, You spend money for something good. But it doesn't mean you won't get something good for less. You can get something good. It just might not be
the exact copy.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. You've kind of mentioned part of, the process, but what does it look like from like the ideation and, coming up with, this thing, and you're like, oh, I want this winter wonderland, wedding and blah, blah, blah. And then all the way to like the execution. I know it may not be
process.
Yes, I know it may not be linear for it may not be the same for everyone, but I just kind of want to know
Yeah, it's definitely not the same for everyone. But it's obviously the client comes to you with, most clients know exactly what they want in terms of look and feel.
Gotcha.
Most, especially the brides, they know exactly what they want in terms of look and feel. So the client comes to you with a theme, with an idea. And then your job is to then recommend service providers and then get quotations from them. So then client A and B come, and then I send out like briefs to the different service providers who then give you quotations, which is what I call the dream quotation.
Yeah.
Then when we get those quotations, they help us kind of have a mock budget, I would say. And then that's the process of then filtering through the different service providers, having those conversations, coming down to a budget that's then acceptable to the client, because we know how it is, you know, when you're doing a budget. When you come down to that acceptable budget, obviously with a lot of back and forth, a lot of vendor meetings here and there, negotiations, discussions, recommendations. Then at that point, then you start to then make deposits and then come up with activity schedules of, this is what we're going to do, this is what we need to do this. Then there's a lot of little things that fit in there, demo fittings, tastings, you know, those kind of things, walking through the event program, you know, table mock-ups. There's just so many little things that need to get done, and we just help you plan that out and make those. We're kind of like your PAs in that regard when it comes to it. Everything wedding, we have it in check, and then you can worry about everything else.
How long does it take typically?
It can take, the recommended time I feel to plan a wedding is 6 to 8 months. It gives you enough time to sit with it, to get everything in check, to, you know. Oh,
wow. That just sounds so
it's a lot. Intense. People think a wedding is it's not a joke. There's a lot that goes into that day. There's so much that goes into that day.
You say most clients come in and they know exactly what they want. Do you ever have those ideas that you really wish you could actually do, but you know?
Yes, I do. I do. But the thing about no, there's people who let you create with them. Then there's people who have their own creation. The thing about this industry is we have to respect the client's wishes.
Definitely.
And just plug into that. So I kind of use my creativity to plug into what they like. You know, for example, you have a client who what they want, their mood board, their theme is completely different. You would never go that direction. But it's interesting to then walk the journey with them and start to see how we can work creatively with what they want and make something nice. And at the end of the day, when you walk that journey, you also feel like, wow, this is so beautiful. But it's also, we use our creativity to then make that work practically. So a lot of times you have an idea, you know what you want for your wedding and what, but it's not practical. The thing about a wedding, I believe, is on top of it looking beautiful, guest experience is key. Guest experience is 100%. So that's where the little advice comes in, the creativity, the how are we going to then make guests feel comfortable, to feel, you know, enjoy the event and not just enjoy every aspect of the event, not just what they're seeing. Just feel what you're feeling, feel the emotions that you're feeling as well as the couple.
From the outside looking in, what I would consider like peak guest experience is food and music. What are those small things that you always add on top to make sure that the guest experience is amazing?
Good, The length of the event. People do not like, these days people don't like to sit for long. People don't want to just be sitting there for long. So the length of the event. Obviously things like weather, you know, make sure it's not too hot. If you're using this kind of tent, introduce certain elements that would help with you know, cooling the tent down. Just small little things. That how are they welcomed? When someone walks in, how do they feel welcome? How do they feel when they walk into an event, into your wedding? Those are the little things.
I mean, you've mentioned weather, and I'm just like, how do you actually deal, especially with like the outdoor events or something like that? Because Ugandan weather.
I know.
You've seen today.
I know. I know Ugandan weather is very here and there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's why we're called planners. You have to plan for every possible outcome. Obviously, there are times when it gets crazy.
Yeah.
And it rains like there's a vengeance. Yes.
With like,
oh my God.
On an event.
It rains so much.
Yeah.
Most of the afternoon. But you have to make it work. You have to make it work. Like, the outdoor areas maybe that you had planned, you find a way to move things around. I remember that event where it rained so much. We had, lucky for us, we had a ceremony and in a tent, and then the reception. And because it had rained so much, the ground outside was then very soggy. So we just kind of quickly moved. When people walked into the reception, quickly removed everything that was in the ceremony area and just turn that into like the dining area, the food area. Like you have to be very dynamic, but also you have to think about all these things that could potentially happen.
Yeah.
All these things, by the come with experience. You only know how to deal. There are things, certain things you would only know how to deal with because you've experienced it.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be running around like a headless chicken. How do you stay calm? Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It's taken time, experience. I never used to be as level-headed as I would like to think I am today. I think I am. But yeah, it takes time. It takes time and experience to do that, honestly.
Let's take it a little bit back in time. Coming up with the idea of starting events in the first place. Whose idea was it? How did it come up?
I think so I was in the corporate world for a very short time, by the way. Very miserable short time. And then when I felt like I needed to do something more creative, something more for myself. I kind of felt trapped when I was in the corporate world. And then I started to do decor. I had a mentor at the time. I was doing decor. Actually, I did decor towards the end of my corporate journey. It's kind of what gave me the confidence to leave the corporate world behind.
What kind of decor was that? Was it
just event
like
decor?
Okay.
Yeah, I would do event decor.
Okay. Yeah.
I was a proper decorator. And then I did that for a while. But I loved to... I think it was very much in me. It is very much in me to plan things. You know? Even for family, with friends, I've always just been the person who's putting things together, organizing event things for us to do. It's always been who I am.
Yeah.
And then as I was doing decor, of course, you grow up and then your friends start getting married and things like that. And I was always ending up on committees and doing so much work for so many people who are on the committee, not just my own work. And it just felt like, I remember that time, I started feeling like there was a gap.
Right.
Like there was a space in the market, in the wedding industry, that needed to be filled. And that's when I started to think about doing event planning and my niche being wedding planning. So then, I just took the time off. COVID. Yeah. Thank God, I guess, for me. The world stopped and I had the time to regroup, ideate, do all these small courses online, you know, and which then gave me the confidence, the boost to step out and say, okay, I can do this. Then I did my first gig, my second gig, built the muscle, built the confidence, and here I am today. A lot of my first gigs, you know, support is amazing. A lot of my first gigs came from people I know, my friends, my family. They're the ones who kind of gave me that, you know. Yeah.
Because they'd also experienced your touch as well.
So I guess.
Okay. Was it scary kind of moving from the safety, the security of the corporate world into this very informal space?
Yes, extremely.
Yeah.
Extremely. It was very, very scary. I'm a very organized. I like to be organized. I like to have, you know, to know that there's a plan. I don't know, kind of. Yeah, maybe. I think I am type A. I like to be organized. I like to know what's what. So for me, the biggest challenge there was income. I was like, okay, if I stop getting a salary, what happens to my life, my lifestyle. What am I going to do? What's next? But I got a lot of encouragement. And I was sure, at this point, I was sure it's what I wanted to do. So I was very convicted about it. So I just kind of took a leap.
Yeah.
And it panned out, thank God.
Luckily you did. Do you remember your most challenging project? Like one that was just,
One?
Mm-hmm. Not just one, okay.
There have been so many, but they all have different
aspects.
I can't mention one in particular.
Right.
But what I will say about the challenges that you face when you start a business, so when you're doing anything, is always just learn from them. Always just pick, there's always something to learn, and strive to make sure that thing or that situation never happens again, or you're never caught off guard again.
Yeah.
That's what I would say about that, because the challenges have been many.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you which is worse than the other.
Is there like one,
many.
You know how you say there's a lesson that you learn from something, so you don't have to do it again? What's that one thing that like kind of changed how you do things?
Maybe like my third, fourth wedding. This is a very small something. I remember how you just have everything in check, and then we wake up the morning of the wedding, and so the bride honestly had said she would do her own bouquet. So we wake up the morning of, and she calls me and she's like, "Where's my bouquet?" And I'm just like, but you see, that's the thing about being a planner.
Yeah.
It's because I was very new in the game. You need to have everything in check. Even if she tells you that she's going to do it, you need to know for a fact she's going to do it or have a backup.
Right.
So the lesson I took from this is, one, have a checklist and make sure you just always have a backup. Two, relationships. Relationships and collaborations are amazing. I called up someone immediately and I was like, you know what, I have an emergency. I need that thing. And it arrived in an hour.
Are you serious?
Beautiful bouquet. She had no clue it was not in my plan.
Are you serious?
I was just like, got you.
Yeah.
I picked up the call, made phone calls, and the bouquet came. But I was so scared. That hour I was so scared, because what is a bride without a bouquet?
Yeah.
But you see, you learn, you learn something.
By the way, I can't even compute even the thought process, because if someone says, this is sorted, I have it sorted, and they call me at that time, I'll be like,
job.
I thought you did.
But remember, it's your job, it's my job to be on top of everything. You can't tell then the client that. So tiny things like that you have to learn from, and always just have a positive attitude towards.
Yeah. And I think, I find the concept of bridezillas just a little bit off, because it's such a stressful day. It makes sense that someone would be on edge about everything and blah, blah, blah.
So stressful,
How
so
do you
emotional.
deal with the emotions that come up?
It's not about me.
Right.
It's not about me.
Right.
None of it is about me. That's the only way to deal. I completely remove myself emotionally from the situation. I mean,
you can't take it
whether someone snaps or whether someone does what, it's genuine. It's not about you that day. They're dealing with so much more than you.
Yeah.
As long as you know what you're doing is right and is in line, I think that's what matters. Yeah, because we don't know what we don't know what would act like if we were emotional.
Yeah.
If we were going through whatever people go through when they're getting married. I'm not married. Yeah. So that's it.
What do you have that moment in your memory where you're like, this is my calling, this is what I'm supposed to do?
One particular moment, no, but I can say the first few weddings I did, at the end of the day, at the end when everything is done, there was just a sense of fulfillment I got. And where I was just like, this is a good thing. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this feeling. I like what I did. It's a lot of work, but it comes a bit naturally to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't stress me as much as it would stress, I guess, the next person. So yeah, that's it. The fulfillment I felt the first few times I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what did it for me.
Where do you pull inspiration from? Like, sometimes a lot of people, they'll come with like the Pinterest and whatnot, but I find that a lot of creatives find, different forms of art, kind of inspire them, whether it's movies or I don't know. Even things you see on social media, I don't know if there's anything that kind of catches your eye.
So I follow a lot of these wedding pages. These wedding pages abroad. Obviously Pinterest. I'm a Pinterest junkie. Wow.
Yeah.
But the thing about the wedding industry, honestly, as a planner at least, I don't exercise my creative side as much.
Right.
Yeah, because you're fitting into someone's
into their
creativity,
vision.
into their vision.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I don't do that as much. But when I do other events, because other events people kind of let you, do you and
there's a lot less pressure.
Go free, and that's when I kind of exercise that muscle. And I'm actually trying to just dip my toe a bit more into just to broaden my my thingy a bit. Yeah, so it's other events where I can get to like really whatever, strengthen that muscle.
And then I'm also curious about the mammoth that is like organization and keeping up with whatever, because of course it's not just like one client during that 8-month period. What are those like tools that you have in your back pocket that's like, to keep things organized?
I have a ton of checklists. I have so many checklists. I have like schedules and what already done. I do everything in Excel.
Okay.
I do everything in Excel. I don't have particular tools that I use.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do everything I do in Excel. But yeah, it's just those are that's how I keep tabs on everything. It's like every client has a folder and I'm constantly checking the folder to see progress. What have we done? Here's what we've done. Where are we now? Have we accomplished this but this at like maybe say the 2-month mark we should have accomplished this. If not, why not? How soon can we get it done? Yeah.
Was there have you ever forgotten?
Yeah, obviously there are times when like you forget, but you see, because I've done it so often, it's a thing where you can't say you forgot because there's some things that the client doesn't know. So it's like, oh my God, I should have called this person yesterday to ask about the dress, but I'll remember tomorrow. Right. Then I'll call.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or you always leave room. It's just like, it's very hard to predict what can happen. So you need to always leave an allowance for things. For example, let's say if I say I'm supposed to call you about your dress on Friday, in my calendar it's the week before. Right. Because even if we go and talk about your dress, I might call you and you're not able to. Yes. So I need to leave that room. I need to leave that week for you for us to schedule. Let's go do this and this with you, with the tailor, with yes.
So it's like a thing. That's smart actually.
Planning.
True, because at least for me, whether this is like really, really enlightening, especially at least on a smaller scale, because I am very type B. I am very we'll lists everywhere, we'll figure it out and then show up. So I think I would have already had my head on the stake if I was in the space.
But like weddings. You learn and you just incorporate tools that would then help you do what you need to do. Because I don't think everyone in that space is a type A person. Right. I don't think so. Yeah.
Have you ever reached a point which was like really challenging, so challenging that you're like, you know what, let me go back to corporate?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
What happened?
It was nothing in particular. I remember I was like year 1 or year 2. I was so stressed. There was so much to do. Yeah. I came from a bunch of events. I felt so burnt out. I felt like, is it even worth it? Because, you do all these things and then you're so tired. You've made the money, yes, but you've not yet learn how to then plan and manage your money, because we have seasons. You're not going to have a wedding through the year. Do you know what I mean? There's seasons where there's no weddings. For example, during Lent, right? A lot of the churches don't wed people, So I not yet learned how to then like manage my money, and I was just like, what even is this? Is it worth it? But that didn't last very long, honestly. And like I said, I have a very good support system. Talk to a few people here and there, encouragement.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
was it just the support system, or what was like the mindset that got you back in the game?
Honestly, God. Yeah. Most of the things that I do, I'm a very spiritual person.
Yeah.
It's God. It's God. I talk to God. I vent. I rant. You know, and then just leave kind of feeling a sense of calm and peace.
Yeah.
That then lets you feel like you get there. You get it.
yeah.
It's not easy. That we think that we're going to start something and in 2 weeks we're off. But that's not how life works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that kind of patience
Yeah.
of, you know what, stick to the plan, we'll get there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Has there ever been that moment that you're just like, oh, this was something I always wanted to do, or like an achievement of sorts?
I've just always wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
From the time I
It
was
just
young, I've always wanted to do my own thing and have my own thing. So when I got to that point where I just felt like, okay, my business it's moving, you know. I have clients. I'm doing weddings of people who I don't know, who don't know me. You know, that's kind of, that's an affirmation. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, I've broken out of the, friends and family thing. That affirmed me very much. And then just knowing that I run a business, knowing that people recognize me, knowing that, you know, I'm here, I'm sitting with you, and you've heard about my business and my brand. Those are just the things that affirm me and keep me going. Yeah.
Okay. And is there like a dream project?
Ooh, is there a dream project? No.
Yes.
No,
okay.
Not yet. Maybe I'll get to a point where I'm just like, I would really want to do this. But right now, I also want to get into maybe short-term goals. Maybe not say a dream project. Like I said, I want to dip my toe into the corporate world, but that I literally want to dip my toe. I'm not yet sure if I want to do that, you know, just to that scale yet. But I really want to get into destination weddings.
Oh.
Yeah, I really want to get into destination
Those
weddings.
Would be fun.
Yes, that's something I'm looking to do in the near future.
What do you think are some places that would be amazing to have a wedding? In a perfect world, for me, it would be like Tuscany in Italy. Yeah, like that is like in a perfect. That's why I said that. That's why I prefaced it.
Nightmare of getting guests
people
there.
No, here's the thing. I think also part of it is just like I want 50 people. So it's like, guys.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, so I wish I could, because like this entire humongous, 1,000, 500 people, it just gives so much anxiety.
It does.
Yeah. So like, what are some of those like locations that I think would be amazing?
For me, top is Cape Town. Cape Town, beautiful.
Yeah.
Also because personally, I love scenery more than like decor. So I like to fit into the scene. I like very natural elements and very So Cape Town, anywhere that's water facing, has a waterfront. I think it's beautiful. So all these coastal places. I don't know why people here, and I guess it's the logistics, don't explore like taking their weddings to Ginger.
Right, by the way.
I don't know, not very many people do it.
Yeah.
But because it's also it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And actually I think it's because of numbers. The places in Ginger that would do weddings can only accommodate so many people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, thinking about it, I think even up country.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be really
Very
cool.
beautiful.
Really cool. Yeah. I think a lot of people right now, I don't know if it's just the trend, but the whole situation of like the setting up a tent and creating a world there versus, I guess, working with the actual either architecture or the nature that's around them. What do you think about that? Is that...
I think it's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a preference thing. It's personal. Like I said, a lot of the couples come and this is not a new idea. They've been thinking, it's been something that they've been thinking about for a very long time.
Yeah.
So that, and also the possibilities.
Yeah.
Where we are today, it's possible. It's actually possible to create a whole other world in a tent.
Yes.
10, 15 years ago, that wasn't a very big possibility. Now, it's not just decor that makes our space look good. Even the production, the amount of production and lighting and, that goes into making this a whole world. I think it's also possibilities. People see that it's possible.
Yeah.
And so have moved away from their everyday nature.
Right.
Because in Uganda, we're blessed to have
we are.
To have a beautiful.
I think sometimes we even take it for granted.
So we take it for granted. Yeah, it's your everyday. So now you want your wedding to be something magnificent, something different. Yeah.
If you could give advice to yourself when you were just starting, what would those hacks be? What would those shortcuts be like? Girl, just don't do this. Don't go that way. Yeah.
Starting out as a planner.
Yes.
I would say be patient with yourself. You're just learning. Things don't completely fall into place in one day. The other thing I would say to my younger self when I was starting out is collaborations. I've always felt that way, and I just feel like younger people need to hear it. Collaborations. You can never do everything alone.
Right.
You can never. At least you will not achieve what you want to achieve by yourself. And then the market is big. There's enough weddings for all of us, even if we are 7,000 planners.
Yeah.
There's a wedding, there are at least 50 weddings in Uganda every Saturday. There's enough business to go around. I think just collaborate. Let's learn from each other. Let's pick from each other. We are born in a society for a reason, you know. The other thing I would tell my younger self, I've said patience, eh?
Yes.
Financial discipline.
Yeah.
Plan your money. Just because you work for yourself and the money is yours does not mean you spend it like that, Plan for your money because you want to grow at some point.
Yes. Okay. Can we talk a little bit more about collaboration? Because, it's a concept that all of us are somewhat aware of, and yet it's also tricky because, people are different and, dealing with the different people. What would you say makes for a very successful collaboration?
I think for a very successful collaboration, I would say knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And so knowing then when you need the help and how to plug in the help.
Gotcha.
Knowing what your capacity is. And when you're not able to meet that capacity, then you know when to bring on people.
Right.
And then I would also say being transparent. Yeah, in a point where when you're working with someone, just be transparent.
Yeah.
So everyone knows exactly what's happening at every moment to avoid, these little tiffs and,
Yeah.
I've seen it happen to people. I've seen it just in businesses. It may not even be in the wedding industry. You hear about people who started out a partnership and then they're not because this person just did not disclose something as small as maybe a kickback. Or, and then that boils into something so big that, that if you had told someone, it wouldn't seem like you're hiding it.
Right.
It wouldn't seem so negative.
I see that. Okay. Chantal, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
I've gotten into a few of the spaces with wedding planning and kind of lifted the veil on that.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I feel honored to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has been so insightful. I feel like there's so much that people can get from everything that we've been dealing with. Yeah. All right then. See you guys next week. If you like this video, make sure to check out the rest of our page because there's so much more for you to see. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.